So welcome back to the school garden here at Ysgol Ty Coch, and the pupils have been growing lots of flowers this year, and these are cosmos that are still flowering despite the fact that we're well into the autumn now. Although in the autumn, you know, that we've got the windy weather and the rain and the cold temperatures, and the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer, it can feel a bit depressing. Actually, these guys are pointing towards next spring. There's a little positive message to be found from these lovely cosmos, because there's a perfect flower in there. They've got a very slight perfume. You can cut these and put them in a little vase inside the house. The bees and the butterflies love them, so do people. But as the flower goes over in the autumn, there's a dead flower there. You can think, oh dear, you know, this is the end of it. But actually, this will produce next year's seeds. So these guys are actually pointing towards next year, next spring. There's a positive message of hope here. And here's some seeds that we've collected. I'm going to see if I can find there we are. There's a dead flower that's been around a bit longer. This dead flower here needs to dry off for another couple of weeks. But here's one that's dried off, and the seeds, these little black seeds, if you just give them a little tap, they will fall away like that. And from that one flower, we've got, I would guess that's 40 or 50 seeds from one flower. Bear in mind that there's only 3 or 4 plants here, so just from one flower we could have 10 times this amount of plants next year. Plants are clever, hey? So we're going to have a look at now what we can do with these seeds to kind of protect them and store them over the winter, so that when we get the other side of Christmas and the daylight starts to stretch out and spring starts to come around the corner, we can sow these and start again to get more of these flowers next year. Let's go and store some seeds. So we picked our cosmos flowers, dead flowers, outside, and managed to get some seeds out of that first flower. I've got some more over here where you can see that they're just bursting now. The seeds are ready to fall out. These ones here aren't quite ready, but these ones here, I'm just going to give them a little tap, and here they come. Lots and lots of lovely cosmos seeds. So I'm putting them onto this tissue paper, because one of the tricks when you're collecting seed is to make sure that they don't get any mildew or rot off. They don't want to be too damp. They need to be nice and dry for a few months. There we go. We must have about 100 seeds there. I'm just going to spread those out and leave them on that tissue paper, maybe for a week, something like that. And then you can put them into an envelope or something like that. What we do at the school actually is we then process our own seeds. The children have designed these little packets here and manufactured them and cut them out and stuck them down, and then we sell those at the school events, a Christmas fair and so on. It's actually quite easy, certainly with Cosmos anyway, to collect your seeds and to reintroduce them the following year. So that's Cosmos. A lot of people ask about sunflower seeds because it's a very popular summer flowering plant. Here's a dead sunflower head that we cut. You've got to be careful with sunflowers because the squirrels and the birds love them. So we leave some out for the wildlife to enjoy through the autumn and the winter, and then we cut a couple, bring them inside so they can dry off, and this has dried off nicely. And I think if I just give that a little bit of a nudge, here they come. Look at that. There must be 300, 400, maybe 500 seeds in that one flower head. It's the little black seeds that you can see in there. We're just going to let those dry off in this bowl. We've got more than enough seeds now to keep us going for a year or two, I think, of sunflowers. So that's the sunflowers. I'll let the children finish that. You may have seen our tomatoes on one of the other videos. Here's one of our Ambrosia bush tomatoes. This is quite hard to get hold of. It's not a very common tomato variety. And so we've got a tomato there, nice and ripe. What I'm just going to do is make a couple of holes in it. Here it comes. Because otherwise, when I squeeze it, it might burst everywhere. So now, there's all the seeds from the center of that tomato. Few more left in there. Come on, it's your chance to grow next year. Come on, there you come. So using this tissue paper to absorb the moisture, because these are obviously very wet and we don't want damp any dampness around the seeds as we go into the winter. There we go. So I'm just separating them out. Each one of those little yellow dots is a potential tomato plant for next year. I've written along the top there to remind us what the variety is. So that's Ambrosia from 2019, and after we'll just leave that in the sunny windowsill, and after a few days they will have dried out nicely, and then we can just gently scrape them off the tissue paper and put them in an envelope, and there's the start of next year's tomatoes.